The Smite Update is proudly sponsored by SmiteTube.com, a new up-and-coming Smite community website dedicated to weekly Smite tournaments, articles, and excellent Smite content videos. Show your support and check out SmiteTube.com. Also, please check out the Smite Update's second sponsor, Tweaked Audio. Go to tweakedaudio.com for high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. Use the code OctanePro to get 33% off plus free shipping anywhere in the world. Check out tweakedaudio.com today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the Smite Update. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 23 of the Smite Update. My name is OctanePro, and joining me as always is my co-host Risty. Risty, how's it going?
It's not been too bad. It's not been too bad.
Oh, you didn't mute your mic this time. You're good to go.
Actually, yeah, I saw it flashing and went, whee! I'll turn that one off.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, folks, we are jumping into episode 23. Can't believe we made it thus far into 23 episodes. That's 23 weeks of Smite updates so far, so pretty cool. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Smite update, this is a weekly show. Goes on every Monday at 8:30 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/OctanePro, SCII. And what we do is we go over the latest patch notes that came out. But we give ourselves about 5 to 6 days to play that patch, and then we go over them on the stream. So a little different than what you see Hi-Rez Bart do on Tuesdays or Wednesdays in regards to just reading them off. We actually go through and discuss them, and then we have a few different other segments throughout the show going over different esports news and community news and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and touch base with Risty. Risty, what have you been up to recently? Have you had an opportunity to play much Smite? I know you've been busy with a lot of work recently.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Smite and I've played a few things, but the funny thing was kind of hooked me this weekend. Really, sad to say, is Farm Simulator.
Farm Simulator?
I thought, I went to download it and I went, and it was on offer. I thought, £3. I went, let's have a go. And now I'm determined to buy all the farms. It's really bad. But it's so slow.
Farm Simulator, interesting enough.
Very weird.
Kind of
very
really,
weird.
really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, let's go ahead and not waste too much time. I've actually had an opportunity this past week to not play. I played a ton of Smite, but I haven't casted a ton because my streaming rig was down for about the past 5 days or so. So I've been going crazy to get that up and running before we went ahead and had the show tonight. So thankfully I got everything working. So I'll be doing streams this week, cranking out guides. So no worries. I am back in action. Do appreciate it. Those of you guys that are just getting in here, we just started about 2 to 3 minutes ago, and we haven't jumped into the patch notes just yet. You just missed the intro video, our sponsor kind of read, and just saying hello. But let's go ahead and jump into this week's patch notes, which did come out on September 5th, labeled Odin, the All-Father Gets a Makeover. So to start out, we saw one of the oldest gods in the game, Odin, who is the All-Father. He's a Norse god. Get a overhaul when it comes to his kind of graphical 3D model. So we saw his 3D model, his animations, and the loading screen card completely redone. We also saw the Huntsman skin redone, so not only the original, but also the Huntsman, and get redone. And the Mountain Man skin will be improved in the future. So I want to go ahead and show those to you guys real quick. So let's go ahead and jump to full screen. We'll go over the three different skins, and then we'll get Risty's opinion. So here is the new and improved Odin that you can see up on screen here. Kind of a really badass warrior look. Much better in my opinion than what we've seen in the past. Here's just a quick little turnaround. Check out that sexy butt. Oh yeah. So that is the original one. Then we jump to his second skin, which is the Huntsman skin, which is kind of the greenish tinted one. Was very much like a leaf look to it in the previous look of Odin. And then finally his Mountain Man skin, which hasn't had any overhaul at all, which they're saying is going to have some in the future. So let's go ahead and throw it to Risty first. Risty, what do you think of Odin's new look and animations and everything?
I have two things to say about that, pretty much. From the front, he looks good. Okay, he looks like badass and stuff like that. From the back, he looks like a fat Guan Yu.
Okay.
the thing I go with that is his cloak is very like slitted up. Now, the art you see the art style there is very. He looks like a Asian god. No, I had to be very careful that I
Sure.
didn't swear there, just because it looks crap. But yeah, from the back, I feel like I'm playing an Asian god.
Yeah.
Now, as a Norse god, I'm sitting there going, no, this ain't right. And his spear doesn't even light up anymore.
Yeah, that is true. It doesn't have that glow effect to it necessarily. But
So,
I like him. I think he's cool. I'm glad they're doing the entire overhaul of some of the older gods because
yeah.
their art direction has changed a lot, so it needs to be updated. Their graphics in game has completely changed and have been enhanced. So I can understand why they're going back and doing these. I'm really eager to see like what other older gods they decide to go ahead and do the overhauls on.
Artemis, she needs a new one.
Artemis, I admit. Who else? Who else do
Yeah.
you think?
Who's the new ones? Carly's kind of fine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think old.
Chat room. Who do you guys think
I don't know.
needs to be redone? That's from like the original, because like Odin is from the first few gods that did come out. You had
Yeah,
Ymir, you had Ra, Artemis, Kali, Anhur, Anubis. You know, some of those gods are all kind of around that the first few that did become released to us originally.
Well, chat is saying that hell, but we know hell's actually being redone. We've already been told about that.
We've been told it, but we can't be 100% sure because we've heard about hell getting redone for like forever now.
But obviously, the art department's so busy.
I know. They got so much going on. All right, so that's Odin, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other skins that came out. So Loki got a new skin, and before I show it, what are your thoughts on the new skin, Risty?
I love it.
Why?
I actually saw. I think for some reason I went onto the Smite stream and I saw Bart playing it. I looked at it and went, "Oh, that's so cool!" It's probably the only premium skin that I've gone. I must have it, even though I don't play Loki. I was like, "Ah."
I don't play Loki, but I bought it tonight just to show everybody. So
it's-
so let me go ahead and throw up. Here's the new one, Infiltrator. Pretty badass look. I guess this kind of falls off of the comes from their kind of has been influenced by tribes per se.
Global agenda, actually.
Yeah, and as you can see here, kind of his back look kind of looks like it has that jetpack look to it that you would see from tribes. I forget what it was, either a Marvel or DC comic character. Somebody told me he looks like. Who's the guy with the swords? I can't remember. Chat room's gonna tell me. What is his name?
Do they know what film?
No, I don't remember. Somebody in chat room is going to tell me, like the guy with the sword. I don't know. Somebody's going to point it out while we go through. But anyways, I really like his skin. I think it's really, really cool. Really like ninja-like. We've been asking for this like ninja skin for like the longest time with him. Deadpool. There we go. Thank you, FPS dude. He looks like Deadpool. But
Yeah.
we've been asking for this like ninja-style skin for Loki for so long.
Hey, if he looks like Deadpool, I'd so love for Deadpool emotes. That would be fantastic.
Right?
That'd be so funny.
Right. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it does definitely have the tribes type of influence that we do see here. Kind of, some people are like Deadpool. Yeah, go look up Deadpool. It kind of has that Deadpool look too. But pretty neat skin we have there. So Loki got that skin done on him. We also saw that Chunga got the skin as well on her, and then we also saw Aphrodite too. So quite a few different skins. Chunga the golden one, Aphrodite with the golden one as well. What are your thoughts on all these golden skins coming out now?
Well, to be honest, they've got to. Now they've started they've set like a standard that every god's gonna have a gold skin. They have to do it, but it can't be that hard to make a gold skin. Go to all the color paste tabs, gold,
Yeah.
done. You could
Yeah.
throw them all out in a weekend, I reckon. just hit that gold select. We've changed the color on like character creations. Just hit that gold tab enough times. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But I do like the Loki skin. I even like when he goes stealth. It's like the hex art as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we had that, and then we also had an Odin voice pack that did come out as well. We won't go ahead and preview that up or anything like that. You guys could check that out directly in game if you guys are interested to go ahead and check that out for the Odin God pack. But I'm kind of cool. Happy to see not only are we seeing the skins getting redone, we're also seeing some of the voice packs getting redone as well. So really happy with that. So that's kind of our intro section into the patch notes. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Risty to start out the general section.
Yeah, so the arena map has undergone another round of art improvements, bug fixes, collision fixes, and layout adjustments. Now, I was going through checking everything before the patch, and I was like, I missed that one, so I'm just going to jump in the arena now and have a quick little look.
But, it's nothing too crazy. It's
no?
just a little adjustments. You probably won't even be able to tell
Probably
see
not.
the
They
difference.
did the main thing before.
It does look really nice though. Like in chat, Appalachia says in chat, it looks pretty. It does. Like they did a really good job on Arena, and I'm actually really surprised by it.
Yeah. Okay. The main menu interface, the home button has been moved and now adjusted to the other options in the main menu navigation. So they've just moved a few buttons around. Nothing too much. Kind of cleaned it up a little bit.
If you notice though, like I threw up on full screen here, there's nothing on the left-hand side now. You have the store button, weird. And then you have your settings button. Like they need to figure out their UI. You could definitely tell that that this isn't the final UI. It can't be. Like they moved the home button, which was one of these little circles in the upper left-hand corner. There was another one there. They just moved it over to the blue bar there. Like, why not put the home button next to store and just say home or something? Like, it just, I don't know. It definitely needs an area in the upper left-hand corner.
Well, you can see there at the left that they've got like 2 holes for buttons, which were the XP stuff, and it's like you couldn't even fill that in. Really? Come on, that's just like I feel just lazy artwork, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you do a job, but then you'll do half a job, and it's just like, why even bother doing it at all? Sort of things like that. So I've just looked at the arena map. There aren't anything to see.
Yeah, so. nothing too crazy. I mean, to our eyes, but a lot of bug fixes, collision fixes, stuff like that.
Yeah, the party button now always appears on the right of the chat bar.
Yep.
Your current party and also members are now listed in this panel. Previously, the panel would show current channel members in chat.
Yep. So a nice little addition there. A lot of people complained.
Like a bug fix?
A lot of people complained about the party, like never knowing where your party was, like who was in your party and stuff like that. So they went ahead and moved the home button and then moved the party button to make it more available. So it's just to make it because you have to remember the new UI is not as new user friendly as the old UI. Would you agree?
Hell yeah.
It's like for a new player joining in, you're like, oh my gosh, like nothing is labeled. Like when you get into the game, you have to go ahead and hover over top of each of the buttons to find out like what they are, because they're not
pretty
clearly
standard with a lot of games that
yes,
they won't
but
tell you what it is.
You think you would? Okay, I need to find the stat, but it's like a new player plays a new game for 15 minutes. If they can't find what they're looking for and can't enjoy what they're looking for, like can't find everything, they go ahead and leave. They uninstall. They're done. Like you think that, I don't know, the old version I thought was very beginner friendly, whereas the new version is just crap everywhere. But we won't get into it. Let's continue on.
New players suck. The variant of other cleanups, bug fixes, usability improvements have been made to the front end user interface.
Yep.
Completely just that must be just like the starter fixes, like there's not too much they could have done. Well, they could have done probably a lot, but nothing you'll actually see. Yep. You'll only know when stuff breaks. That's pretty much with that.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah. You already know if we've done something when it stops breaking.
Pretty much.
When selecting the match details on the stats page, a new screen displays with the patch and no longer goes to the external page. I'm going to go check that one out. So let's just have a look at this one while we're here. But so for the next bit, other than that, so basically they've just changed the stats page. What's up? So it's more of like a UI thing. So while I'm going here, match stat.
Sure, I'll bring it up.
I've got nothing there.
When you go to stats.
Yeah, I've got the stats, but I haven't played any matches. So
let me go ahead and bring it up here. All right, so I have it up there, and what are we looking for?
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's just.
You talking about the tabs at the top?
Yeah, they've just done.
Player profile.
You might have to go into player profile and click it there.
Match details.
They've just kind of done the lines.
Nothing has come up there, and other stats. Well, my understanding was too. I was reading somewhere where you know how like on other stats they have player stats, top ranked players, and top recorded matches. They're gonna try to move that into game shortly here. My understanding from what I've heard. And like match details, I got nothing in there either, so I don't know what they're in there.
If you go into player profile and do recent plays, you get it up there. It looks like the end game screen of self.Smite.
Oh, nice. That's not too bad. That's not too bad
Yeah.
at all. I like that. That's pretty cool.
You can't find it, can you?
Nope, can't find
You're
it.
terrible. Just
Pretty
click
much.
the details at the bottom of the recent patch.
Yes, I see what you mean. I see what you
There
mean.
we go. Oh, you're terrible. Oh well. So there was that. So that was okay. It saved them and go to the external website, which is a lot better than I feel. Which just kind of keeps it all in house.
Yep.
In programs, so it feels a bit better. I also noticed this before I even read the patch notes. New video has been added to the login that briefly promotes the state of Georgia. We love tax breaks and left click.
To progress
Where?
past the video. So I know
Okay.
why. Okay, if you live in the States, which that's what people outside the U.S. call it, the States, you will notice that if you live within the States, you'll notice that every once in a while when you're watching, as the Englishmen call it, the tele, we call it the
TV.
we call it the TV.
Yeah.
You'll notice that every once in a while, like I live in Pennsylvania, and I'll get like a commercial for California, and it's like, come visit our beautiful state with wonderful grapes and luscious beaches, California. And it's an
We get them
advertising to come visit California.
I had Arnold Schwarzenegger on the telly going.
That's
"It's a
right.
beautiful place.
That's right. Well, that's exactly what this is here. This is pretty much Georgia advertising to come to Georgia. And if you guys aren't familiar, Hi-Rez Studios is based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So that's there.
And the fact they get us a tax break as well.
That's right. So that's what that tax break is there. I can understand. Small publishing company, tax break, you'll take it anywhere you can. But anyways, yeah. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me as long as it's only in beta.
No, it'll be on there longer than beta. You know it will.
If it is still there when beta launches, I'm gonna be disappointed. Because it's gonna be like, really? Are you gonna start putting in-game advertising like a Coke flag somewhere in game and stuff like that just in order to make a few extra bucks? Like, that's sellout. That's sellout right there.
We'll have little like banners and stuff up the lanes.
Oh my gosh, no!
But the best bit, they won't be sponsors. They'll be, would you like to advertise here? Call this
I know,
number.
right? Call this number now. They better not get into that, or else me and Hi-Rez, we're gonna have a chatting. We're gonna have a chat. Okay.
That'll
We're
be
gonna
funny.
talk. All right, let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah. Fixed an issue with some ground targeter rotations being delayed after dashing. Path of flames into noxious gas, so they pretty much just reduced the cooldown on it, and there was a bit of a delay. There's always really quite a we know about the global delays and stuff, but you can really feel it with Agni because you're trying to do a firebomb and noxious gas right after each other, and you're going, come on, hitting that button trying to get your gas down.
Yeah.
But no, so they fixed that problem.
Yep.
Now Poseidon, On Her, Naja, and Chunga are now available as potential bots in the practice arena, which I did go up against a few of them a minute ago. And the free god rotation is Fenrir, Freya, Neith, Vulcan, and Zeus. And then spectators just had a few bug fixes and visual cleanups.
Yeah, we ran into quite a few of those last weekend when we were actually casting the Hi-Rez EU tournament, you and I. So we ran into quite a few little spectator bugs, so I'm glad we're starting to see some of those.
We couldn't tell what was going on.
Oh, my goodness.
Who died? Don't know.
Who died? I don't know. Look at the bottom and look for the gray screen with the number counting down. Okay.
Pretty much.
Because the accolades, those of you guys who aren't familiar, in spectator mode, after they went ahead and rolled out the most recent patch, the accolades would not come up. So when someone died, let's say Ra died, Risty and I would be casting it and be like, okay, yes, Ra died. You see at the bottom little gray box with the number counting down? Yeah, Ra will be up in 30 seconds. We know he died. That's how we knew. There wasn't like the ching and like the sound and the death and the accolade came up and it had his face or whatever. So we didn't have that opportunity. So that was issues with spectator mode, a few little odd and ends here and there. But let's go ahead and jump into the most recent item changes. So for Hands of God and Fist of God, the pricing was reduced from 250, 300, 350 gold per tier. The radius as well was increased to 15 feet on every tier, and the cooldown is set to 60 seconds on every tier. So if you guys watched like Hi-Rez Bart do the patch notes this past week, he talked about how Erez wanted this huge buff on abilities because what Risty and I started seeing over casting, what we saw previous the week before, is teams stopped buying abilities. Completely. Like, not all the players, but a majority, I would say 75% of the players weren't buying abilities because you just couldn't justify it for what the pros were to just continue leveling your items. They just weren't worth it. Well, now we're seeing these huge changes to abilities. And Risty, I don't know if you saw much of these, but what are your thoughts kind of on this change now, flip-flopping back to abilities being so good?
Well, it's kind of weird why you would have half the abilities at 900, like all full price, and half the ability only. Hang on, let's just count. Pretty much all of them, but 5
Yep.
are all at 900, and the rest are 1100. So it's like sprints at 1100, Girdle of Might's at 1100, beads, meditation, and Aegis.
Yeah.
So the pretty much all the defensive stuff, which is kind of weird. I'd much rather have it like flat across the board than that. The 60-second cooldown. I know Erez wanted. How do I say it? He wanted actives to be like really powerful. He has said that he wants them quite powerful.
Yep.
But he's also got like a new target area as well, so that's quite good.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, do you think it's a good thing that we're moving back in that direction, or do you think regardless of what you do, you're gonna have to keep on buffing them?
Well, to be honest, the actives are kind of as they are. People were using them, and they're buffing them up a bit, but they're not buffing them up, I'd say, too much at the minute.
Back where they had passives, which were like ridiculous.
Yeah, passives was a bit silly. Now we're still feeling fine, still got to activate it. It's not too much of a problem. It just kind of like he says, it just wanted to increase the usability of it, and actually is. But now the cooldown flat across the board.
Yeah.
The Hog's okay. You can kind of understand that with Hog, because before it was like, to be honest, even before it wasn't that much of a problem. But it gives your jungler a bit more faster clear now if they pick it up at level 1.
Yeah.
Makes it a bit more useful than you could save it otherwise till like you needed rank 3. Because a lot of people would save their actives until they could just get the level 3 straight out, because there was no point half the time.
Sure, at the lower levels, yeah. So we saw Hand of Gods and Fist of Gods get a change. Creeping Curse had a change as well. The price was reduced, same thing, 250, 300, 350. The radius was increased to 55 feet. So all of a sudden now, Creeping Curse is pretty much like the width of the lane. So if you're anywhere nearby, woo, you're getting hit with Creeping Curse. Well, slow has been reduced from 30, 40, 50% to 20, 30, 40. So the radius has been increased, but the effect of the slow has been decreased. There's a new branch option now. Enfeeble Curse reduces enemy ground speed by 40%. Quite interesting there. And finally, it also reduces enemy attack speed by 30%. So you're not only seeing a slow movement speed, but you're also seeing an attack speed decrease as well. Blink, same type of gold.
Well, hang on.
Go ahead. Give me your opinion.
Creeping Curse, I've just looked. As soon as I literally just looked at the new one, I went, well, you'd never buy Creeping Curse again. Just straight off the bat. Straight away.
Sure. I completely agree.
Curse, it just gives a flat 40% slow.
Yep.
But Encumbering Curse, 40% and 30% attack speed. They need to give Creeping Curse a standard back the original debuff.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're going to do that. Because you don't want one that can do 2 jobs doing exactly the same as the one that can do the single job.
Sure.
There needs to be like a division of stats there.
We get into that with like words and stuff like that whole discussion. Yeah. Like there needs to be a significant difference. I agree there. Yeah. I agree there. So interesting enough, Creeping Curse. Blink, and a lot of people are like, oh, Blink broke the game. Blink. Same gold structure, 250, 300, 350. The cooldown reduced from 180, 90, 45 to 60, 45, and 30. So a significant difference. When it comes down to Blink, making Blink very usable in early game. The first level used to be 180-second cooldown. Now you're at 60 seconds. So that's an astronomical difference. On top of that, you now must be out of combat for 5, 4, and 3 seconds, changing per tier. So at the top tier, your cooldown is every 30 seconds, and you only have to be out of combat for like 3 seconds. And then finally, Combat Blink, cooldown reduced from 240 seconds to 120. So it still has that. I love Blink, by the way. I will get out of combat Blink, so just the normal Blink on gods like Ymir, Erez, even Sobek, because I think it's so effective. to be used on tanks like that. And then I'll go ahead and get combat blink on squishy gods for the escape, like Anubis. He doesn't even have any type of escape, whatever. And when he gets in a pinch, he's like pretty much dead. So to have like combat blink is so effective. So having these reductions of the cooldown, I think are amazing. But I think blink's going to start to be a little too strong. What are your thoughts there, Risty?
Well, it's getting like what the hell? Oh,
right
I've
there?
lost the bulb. There we go.
You lost the bulb.
Great.
Hanging out in the dark. Risty's in the dark. A little creeper.
Pretty much. The blink at level 3, I think the cooldown's way too small.
Yeah.
It's 30 seconds. It means literally every time you go up against them, the blink's up. That's it. It's just like, okay,
Yeah,
an active
true.
that's
That's
basically a skill now. I think this should be like a set limit to how short a cooldown can be for an active. Even something like blink. I think 60 seconds was fine. I think no, it was 45 before. 45 was a bit extreme, but leave it at that. 30 seconds now, and out of combat for 3 seconds. You can't ever stop that sucker going off. So
Yeah,
it's
it
just
is.
a
It
bit
is
one.
pretty good, I will admit.
Combat blink, I'm not too fussed about because it's 120 seconds. That's not bad. 2 minutes, I can give it that. It's like summoner's scroll, like flash from. Actually, I don't know how long that is, but it's definitely long. It's definitely a few minutes for League of Legends. So I'm not too fussed about that. I think I'm more worried about standard blink because it's bad enough being chased down as it is.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have
yeah.
this blink where
Constantly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the combat. We'll have to see how well the combat actually wears off. Like that is a huge factor with blink, is being out of combat. Now this one only says 3 seconds, but if you're chasing a god, like you might be out of combat for more than you might be out of combat for 10 seconds while you're trying to chase him through the woods. So I guess it really depends on the factor of how is out of combat determined. I
just feel it's like for running down people, it'll be a bit too extreme. It's worse. Imagine if you had like a gap closer on the god and this, you could catch anybody.
Yes, that would be true.
Now.
That would be true. Well, let's go ahead and jump in. The last item was Girdle of Might, also Girdle of Inner Power as well, the opposite side. The cooldown was reduced to 60 seconds on every tier, and the radius is now 70 feet. So I swear, if you're anywhere near your team, you're getting hit with this, which is so effective. I'll throw it over to you first. Girdle of Might, do you think it needed the radius boost?
Yeah, because half the time you're sitting there going, "Is everybody in?" Yeah. Well,
But
you've
the
always got that
70
check.
feet, though, 70 feet is huge.
Yeah, but it goes with all like the buff. They wanted the buff ones to be quite a large radius, didn't they? So that
I
it
feel
kind
like
of
they need
goes
to standardize stuff, though. Like
They did standardize it. Thing is, I can't pull up the stats like.
not
the
anymore
minute
though,
time.
because I feel like everything is all over the place. Like
It's
like,
changing again, isn't it?
It's like, okay, depending on what ability you have determines like usually you would standardize your ability buffs so that you would always know, okay, I'm in range or whatnot, or this player is in range. But now it's like this guy is at 35, and this ability is at 50, and this ability is at 70. It's like, holy crap! Like, just standardize them all across the board.
It's pretty much a Hi-Rez problem. They standardize stuff, then mess it up, and then they standardize it, then mess it up again.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how they go. So I wouldn't be. I reckon another 6 months from now they're going to standardize it all again, and then they're going to mess it up again.
You can
That's
only
pretty
hope,
much how it
sir.
goes.
You can only hope.
I can't believe I lost the ball.
You'll survive. You'll survive. We'll get you.
I'll be
spotlight.
okay.
That's
It was
right.
weird. Oh yeah, and the next other bits we had the speed buff was changed from now to 30% all the way up to 40% per tier.
Yep. This is
the
sprint, correct? Yep.
Yeah, sprint. What did I say?
You said speed buff.
Speed buff.
It says
right,
speed
yeah.
buff in the notes, but
Oh,
it's
yeah,
under
yeah.
sprint. It's a
So
sprint.
I was kind of just the darkness caught me out. The lifetime from the tiers has also gone up from 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And your slow immunity now lasts the entire length, where it would only last like a little portion of it, because sprint was like 6 seconds, and it would only give you like 2 or 3 seconds worth of speed
Now it's
immunity.
the whole thing. That's pretty good.
Now it's the whole
That's
thing.
pretty.
It's not
That's
bad.
great for like getting away. Like imagine like some people were talking about how people are getting combat blink instead of like regular blink, or instead of Aegis anymore. It's kind of cool to see that sprint has these such great abilities for escapes for people now.
Yeah, yeah, and and another one they've reduced the cooldown on to just 60 seconds flat out for all the tiers,
Yeah.
which kind of sprint. It's they're, they're speeding up the I feel they're trying to speed up the game somewhat. I feel something.
Yeah.
Everything that's moving is getting reduced cooldowns,
That
and
is
it's
true.
like,
Anything that increase, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess they're seeing a large demand for the adjustments to speed in the game because as you are correct, we're seeing a lot of changes there.
yeah, it's just a bit weird. So, well, sprint was one of the ones you're like, well, I wouldn't buy it till I actually got like level 3 because it was a bit pointless. Sometimes level 1 would come in handy, but it was alright.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bit kind of sketchy on that. But then again, 240 seconds was really long time when you had a level 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Really
yeah.
long.
Yep.
What I'd like to see fixed as well is when you buy a new tier of an active, the difference in the cooldown reduction gets reduced from the cooldown.
Oh, that's true.
Because
That
at the
could be
minute,
interesting.
yeah, because at the minute, if you use the 240-minute one and then buy a tier 2, it's like, yeah, but I've still got to wait the 240 seconds. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Good
The
call.
heavenly agility reduced to a 40% speed buff, and the radius increased to 70 feet again. So it's another one of that.
There's that 70 feet. Yep.
Yeah, and the cooldown, yeah, on this tier is 90 seconds.
Yep.
So it's actually a longer. So this is a slight difference, all right? This is what I like to see. It's a slight difference from the sprint in effect and duration. Like the sprint's just 40% flat out, but with this one, it's sprint for everybody. But instead of being exactly the same in the cooldown, they've added another 30 seconds and
Yeah.
give you the radius, which is I kind of feel works a bit better than they did for what was the other one? It was Creep and Curse.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a better one they've
Pretty
done.
cool.
Salvation, MP5 buff has been increased to 45%, kind of bringing it a bit more into the meditation kind of feel. Now, but the thing is though, I'm kind of looking at it going, why would you buy meditation now? There's a few little things. There's just makes it less inclined to have it sometimes.
Yeah, the salvation's really nice. The 45% increase.
Purification beads. The cooldown's been reduced again from them. So instead of like the 240 cooldown that it was, it's now 180 at the start, 135 at rank 2, and 90 seconds for.
Poor Erez. Poor Erez.
I know. It just literally just killed every time they lower the cooldown on beads.
I thought the purification beads were very balanced where they were at. I actually liked them at the cooldown they were at. They made it, you had to pick and choose when you actually used them. But now it's at the top level. It's 90 seconds. I mean, that's killer for someone like Erez, who most people get beads anyways. So it's like, oh, poor guy. Where usually it's like, okay, you pop your beads now. Well, Erez at least has another ultimate available to him before you go ahead and actually use them a second time. So it's like, oh. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out.
I preferred the cooldown the way that was. Well, to be honest, I never, like you say, you never had a problem with it. That's the cooldown of what it was.
Yes.
There's nothing really to say. Now they've changed it and trying to. I feel they're just changing it for the sake of changing it.
Yeah, we'll throw it to chat room. Chat room, what are your thoughts on purification beads? Did you think they needed to be changed? Do you think that the cooldown was too long? It was too short? Because now we're down top level 90 seconds, which is pretty short amount of time. Let us know. Post in chat. We'd be interested to hear your responses.
So yeah, the shielded recall and protective recall, the abilities, the goal's been reduced again, so 900 all the way through, and the cooldown reduction. So they're just missing with pretty much a lot of actives, bringing the cooldown down to 60 at the top rank. Now this could be funny for a lot of split pushing. Okay, you've got a 60-second cooldown split push on an active. That's worse than having Apollo with his chariot all the time.
That's true. That's a little different.
You can split push a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Says shielded recall reduced to 350 gold. Yeah, it's the same thing as what they said before.
Yep.
Shard of restoration and static shard have had the gold reduced.
They just killed, they've reduced it for you to get more abilities earlier. We're seeing that. Like all these items, the gold is like whoosh,
straight down.
Yep.
Now, Eye of Providence. Now, this is the only one that I could say that I like the cooldown reduction on. Because at the start, it's like, it used to be like a really long cooldown. And what this is the ability to place wards by using an active. So now they've reduced it down to 90 seconds at the first, and then 60 seconds after that for each one.
Oh, for the Eye of Providence, yeah.
Every one that goes down, it's actually a lot better to use an Eye Providence ward than it is to use a Sentry ward, because the Eye Providence does a Sentry ward and it lasts 3 minutes.
Well, that makes sense. That's what you want. Like that, the Eye of Providence should be better, I feel like.
Yeah.
You're committing to it the entire game when you go ahead and purchase the Eye of Providence. So, the benefits of it should outweigh just going ahead and purchasing a consumable type of award. So, I like the cooldown here.
Yeah, this is probably the only. I think it's like the only change to actives that I actually like.
You like from this patch? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, the other ones feel a bit weird. I feel they're just doing it to kind of rock the boat a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That could be.
Teleport was increased from 125 to 50 gold. So
yeah, that caught me off guard the other day. I jumped into a match and went to go buy it and like clicking it, like what the heck? 150 gold. So I can see it though, because the value of teleport is so
cheap.
So good. It's so good and so necessary in order to get back in lane. Like as a tank, I love getting teleport. Like get right back into lane, because as a tank, you're constantly running into issues where you're behind on XP and your gold farm. Now, granted, you'll see some people that will get certain boots that will give you like a gold advantage and stuff like that in order to make up for it. But you're always behind on like your XP and gold, because it's very hard for you to actually kill minions. Teleport makes up for that, which is great. But now they're putting it like 150 gold. That's a pretty good amount. Amount. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our god changes that we did see this past patch. First one being on Anubis. The model has undergone visual improvements. Little stuff here and there. He looks good. I think I heard Bart saying he had more of this doggy look to him.
It's kind of funny when you look
undead dog look is what we're saying. So
it looks like someone, like where I used to do models, it was kind of easy to say. It looks like someone's run an ink wash over him just to fill up all that. Like, they basically filled his wrinkles with black ink.
Okay, I will agree with you there.
Now as well. I didn't notice them before, but now the teeth are like right in front of your face, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And also, there's just a few little, like a few little bits changed. Like even his neck thing looks more rounded.
Now I gotta load it up. Now I want to see it, because I played Anubis several times recently over the past week, but I haven't really noticed it. So now I gotta bring it up. Please hold. Please hold while I launch my game. I have to look at the Georgia screen. 1 second.
Yeah.
Gotta support Georgia. Come on, guys. All right, let me go ahead and jump into game real quick. Let's go ahead and look at the gods.
Looks better. I'd probably say he's going to be another one of their gods they're going to overhaul. Like pretty much everything pre.
I think they're done with him though. I mean, the model has undergone visual improvements. Oh, forgot to put on.
Yeah, but they've only done tiny bits.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you can say, you can see the teeth there of Anubis. He does.
Look ferocious, didn't they?
Yeah, he does. Looks pretty kind of badass there. Man, he's like got a big chest. He's a beast. But yeah, he has more of a dog look. Like with dogs, you kind of have this like front chest area, and then it like dips in a lot. That's what you're seeing here. So much more of a doggy dog look to him.
Dog thing. Random fact for you, just for everybody. I learned what the different where underdog come from the other day. I was watching the StarCraft stream and it was said on there. Now. There was 2 dogs that were trained to attack a bear.
Okay.
You had one that used to go for its neck.
And one
that was called the overdog. And one that was trained to go for its chest, which was the underdog. Pretty much the distraction. And the underdog was the one that had the least chance of survival.
Man, you got the random fact, but thank you for explaining that. Now I know where that comes from.
Yeah, I learned that from StarCraft.
This was Random Fact Hour with Aristi UK. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. It was only because we was watching the dog, the Anubis, that I was like, dog. Yeah, there we go.
Athena had a fix for the bug that would make Athena go invisible. We saw this issue a lot.
Wish I knew that.
We saw this issue a lot with Hades in the past. So that was corrected. Fenrir, the ground targeters were modified, so we saw some adjustments there. Guan Yu, a few things that went on with him. His assault protection buff and debuff now scale properly, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 per rank, rather than being 10 all the way across the board. So a little balancing being done to Guan Yu. His basic attack progression now uses the same standard hit cone on the final hit as the first one, which would make sense to me. This should remove inconsistencies in target selections between hits. So kind of making a little tweak and adjustment there. Which this could have been done like all the way back when with Guan Yu. All it came down to was his basic attack. His basic attack is still that swing he has. Hanbat, the Sacred Monkey, no longer allows him to teleport out of Fenrir's mouth during the Fenrir's Ragnarok ability. So I can see that. I can see the benefit of that. I guess if you toss the monkey as you're getting quickly grabbed by Fenrir and you press your third ability again, you teleport out of it. Kind of sucks for Fenrir, so I can see the value in that. That's super important. Let's see what else here. Finally, Infused Strikes has been increased from 20% physical power scaling to 25%. So we actually saw a buff for Hanbats. Any comments on the Guan Yu change or the
Guan Yu?
Hanbats?
The Guan Yu one definitely. I can see why that was done because I'm trying to find the skills from Hanbats. I can't find it. Because 30 protection at rank 1 is a lot. Especially like a level 1 and 2, it's like, yeah, that makes a difference.
Dude,
so
Guan Yu is so strong right now. He's so good. He's so good.
I have still yet to play him. It's terrible.
Oh, he's so good. Like he's so easy to play too. He's good. He's so easy to play.
Mode.
He's a great jungler. It's so good. I mean, it's so great. To go ahead and play Guan Yu and be like jungle and then just hop on your horse and gallop right into lane and attack people. It's super nice. So happy to see that.
Yeah. Basic attacks. Like I say, these hit progression things I'm not a big fan of. But yeah, it's funny. It says should remove inconsistencies in target selection between hits. I'd rather the consistency of damage.
Okay, a little more.
Because you get like a little mini burst sort of thing come out, and it's like, oh, one hit off. Oh, but if it was the fourth hit, I'd have killed him. But it's the first hit, so I'm not going to kill him. Sort of crap. It's like, okay. So it's kind of one of them weird ones. That's the only thing about that. The Hombat's bug looked kind of funny. I wish I'd have known about that. Kind of every time he come, I'd throw the monkey and pray that I'm going to get teleported out. It'd be a laugh. Save you a free beads. And Infused Strikes. I think they're just working with the passive and they're just trying to get it a bit better.
Yep. So let's go over the last few changes.
We got Naja fixed an issue where his ultimate would leave players on top of walls and trees.
I saw that. I saw
a Guan Yu out there. It's quite funny.
Yep. That was
but they killed him somehow, and I don't know how they killed. Oh no, they let the minions, the creep waves kill him.
Correct, which is interesting because the minions attack because minions can attack like up and stuff like that depending on where what's going on. So yeah.
I want that 3D targeter so I could shoot Apollo as he's flying away.
That's right.
Still get him.
Bing, 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 bing. And her throwing an impale up in the sky at
That'd
Apollo.
Be funny.
That'd be
Boom,
cool.
Have it. Take it.
That'd
awesome. Smack him into the side of his chariot.
That'd be awesome if you could knock him off his chariot.
That would be funny.
That'd be so
bit
nice.
Overpowered, but yeah, be funny. Odin's basic attack, he basically now has hit progression now. So we've got, it goes 1, 1, 1, 1.5, and the damage scales accordingly to that. So more hit progressions being added in.
Yep.
Guan Yu's might had a change where it now hits twice. The funny thing is, what I get is when I read the patches, I'm like, I've seen this before. Wasn't this last week? And it's only because I've seen it at the weekend or I read the patch before. So it's kind of funny for us to go through it all like that. Guan Yu's might now hits twice in the same period, dealing its original the original damage is distributed over the 2 hits. The first one occurs 0.4 seconds sooner than what it was before, and inflicts slow. And then the second hit does the majority of the damage, and it basically just does all the damage at the end. Now, the hit values, I don't need to go through the hit values, really. The slow amount's been increased from 25 to 30%, and the cooldown has been adjusted from 15 to 11 to 12 seconds at all ranks, which, to be honest, I kind of like to have 12 seconds. It's not, like, just really mad, because it's like 15 was the lowest anyway. So Guan Yu's might kind of, I like it. As it says, it's the same damage as it was before. It hit a little bit quicker. The slow maybe is a bit depending on the damage on it, but to be honest, you could run away from Odin really easy.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I know they've made a lot of adjustments to Guan Yu's might recently over the past several months. adding a little bit more slow to it, things like that. I kind of like the look of it now. The kind of double whammy that you get out of it. It's kind of cool. I mean,
Chat is saying the original damage isn't the same. It's not the same damage.
Correct.
Fair enough. It would be the original damage, but yeah, if they've upped the damage, they haven't told us, so I haven't seen.
Hey, I've been playing Odin recently, like starting him out with like Mark of the Vanguard, then moving into like Warrior Tabby and playing him almost like completely as a melee AD god almost.
Yeah,
and,
we used to be really good at that.
Yeah, oh yeah, and so you start out with Mark of the Vanguard, and you get your Warrior Tabby, and then from there you can adjust. If the team is super aggressive and you're taking a lot of damage, you can purchase an item that's going to give you some protection. If not, you continue building into that attack damage, and you're good to go. So, yeah, Odin's very versatile now. I kind of like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I missed those days of Odin. That was pretty cool. We saw a tier change. We see power cleave. The power scale. Basically, you got a nerf, sort of. The power scaling was reduced from 80% to 50%, so that's quite considerable for the power cleave.
Yep.
Increased the knockback from 200 to 300. Apparently, it was 400 beforehand, so it's not as bad as it was, but not as good as it was. So it's just in the middle what they've changed it to, so it's not too bad. Fearless as well. The base damage was reduced from 290 at the top to 240. The knockback has been increased again to 300, like the top end was 400. So, I actually, surprisingly enough, don't like the damage nerfs. I still feel that the nerfs are targeted in the wrong place.
Where would you see them?
I'd still say take the cooldown reduction from the change stance.
Ah.
At that point, I would say, because then you would pick and choose which like set you want to use, like a hell, or at least add a slight cooldown to the next abilities, like Hell's is as well. So Hell uses her free, changes stance. There's still a 4 or 5 second cooldown on it, even though she changed stance. Now that's kind of where I'd like to see it. But I'd like to see the damage from tier. It kind of feels useful, but
yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, switching the stance, I could see why they don't, because like you could go ahead and still jungle this tier. You're only
which wasn't a problem.
Yeah, oh no, not at all, and you could still do it. I mean, it's not a problem at all. You just see a lot of people swapping stances and using their first and second ability again in order to get the additional damage done on like a jungler, or if you're chasing after somebody or something like that. So Tier's a cool god. I'm glad to see some scaling being done with him, but I agree with Risty. They're not really focusing on the right spots. Keep the damage where it's at. Maybe adjust the cooldown on his third ability, so he's not able to stack and go 1 2 3 1 2 so easily in a team fight.
Yeah. John Cool also had a slight nerf, which is fair enough. He was a bit tad strong.
Dude, he needs more. He needs more.
He needs more, does he really?
He
I haven't played him since they changed it. It's the duration of the mark, which is the card, the first ability, Expose Evil, has been reduced from 6 seconds to 5 seconds, which, to be honest, the amount of time you let that thing run out is very rare, because you always go straight into Exorcism, just to kind of clear it. So
yeah, that's true.
That's fine. Book of Demons just saw the power contributions reduced from 70% to 50%, and that's your third ability, which was... Yeah, I can understand, because that would hit like a truck.
Yep.
That was about it. To be honest, I still feel that John Cool was not a very high damaging god. Fair enough, his free would do damage and a few other bits, but it wasn't like a Poseidon or an Agni or anything kind of like high level that. It was more of a bruisery, like the Odin version of an AD carry. But for the mages though, so more of like a bruiser.
Well, somebody in chat says, I think he's too tanky. Not that his damage is too much.
Yeah,
I think.
But then he can't escape.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Okay, I was at a LAN party this past weekend, and a buddy of mine plays John Kui a ton and loves him. And we were having this whole debate, and we talked about his magical damage versus with his heal, and where do they adjust John Kui? Do they go with the damage and make him more versatile, or do they go ahead and lower his heal? And My buddy was like, "Oh, keep his heal the same way it is. So just lower his damage. He does a lot of damage." And I was like, "Well, that's not the problem. Like, we want him to do a lot of magical damage. His problem is that he heals so easily from, collecting the ghosts and everything, the souls or whatever. He heals so easily that his sustainability is so much higher. So to me, his problem is being able to heal so well and being able to damage so well. You can't be good at two things in Smite. Come on, you can only be good at one." It's either damage or healing. So that's where my thoughts are. I think his healing ability needs to be decreased.
Yeah, it was quite strong in lane when I was using it because they haven't changed it yet. Exorcism took us a lot, and to be honest, in the solo lane, you can push the crap out of it and not really. Well, fair enough, you have to worry a little bit from like ganks, but most people up against you can't do anything because But then again, you look at it and go, it's the same against going up against a Chunga. Chunga, you cannot push. Because that cow will push the crap out of you with the
Did you call her a cow?
Yeah, I wanted to say other things, but I know I just feel like I'm not allowed.
That's right. We need to keep our good rating on iTunes. Come on now, our appropriate.
But the Crescent Moon's such a low cooldown.
Yeah.
Then she heals, and then when you go after her, she just goes, "I'm just gonna moonlit dance out of the way. Yeah. Bye." I'm like,
well, you know that's a big thing that we saw Hi-Rez come out with like several months ago, where they put out a survey. We haven't seen any surveys recently, but a survey that was like, where do you want to see guys? Do you want to see them in individual roles, or do you want to see them hybrid roles? And I guess hybrid roles won out because I like the individual roles. When I first
the funny thing is when you get the results and they showed the results, I looked at it and went, that's total crap.
Yeah, right?
Who the hell is voting for this?
Who skewed this stuff? Because to me, I don't know, from my perspective, if we're getting into that, I would rather see us do a 1-to-1. You're this god, you're a tank. You're this god, you're a mage. You're this god, you're a support. None of this hybrid bullshit that we see. I hate it. It drives me nuts. But so we'll see what they do. It seems like they're going more and more in the hybrid direction, especially with, like, as you said, Chunga and John Kui. You know, more and more gods are not only being able to do damage, but they can also heal ridiculously. And I don't know why. Like, okay, we did that Smite roundtable discussion. I did that episode, and one of the things that came up was Cripple. And we discussed how was Cripple put into the game in order to counteract the fact that Hi-Rez was coming out with god after god after god of having escapes or dashes or leaps or whatever. Well, what are they going to do to counteract the fact that now all these gods that are coming out have heals? We have Aphrodite has come out with the heal there. We have Hel that can heal. We have Ra that can heal. We have Chunga that can heal. We have John Kui that can heal. Hades has a little bit, but nothing compared to everyone else. Hercules a little bit there. Like, all of a sudden, everybody can heal. Like, what are they going to come out with next to counter that? You know,
everybody's going to have to buy a brawler stick and divine ruin.
It's like,
it's going to be the standard
like, the direction you're going is not accurate. Stop with the hybrid stuff. Let's get away from the hybrids. I don't want any more hybrid gods. We have so many. Like,
I don't mind a heal as long as it's not like half your health in one hit. Like, I don't mind it being like a quarter of your health. It's not too bad then, but as severe as it is, as soon as I use John Kui, I go smack. There's like a third of my health or half my health back.
But see, I don't mind somebody that can heal. That's perfectly fine. But they shouldn't be hitting like a truck when it comes down to their magical damage.
Yeah,
like,
it's one of the other.
Chunga should be CC and heals. Perfectly fine with that. Nerf her damage, she shouldn't be doing as much. Somebody like John Kui. John Kui, if you're going to make him a really good healer, then nerf his magical damage, or put him really good magical damage, but nerf his heals. So he's somebody kind of like Hades, who is pretty good with magical damage, but his heals okay. Nothing too crazy, but just enough. Now, guys, I'm going to put this out there why I'm ranting about this. We are coming at you from a casual player perspective, not a competitor perspective. So keep that in mind, guys. Like, this is not, our perspective is not top-level competitor perspective, because that is not the majority of the player base. The majority of the player base is casual, and that's where we're coming to you with our opinions at. So I don't know what your guys' opinions are. We have a few little spots here and there. People are saying to buff beat sticks. Divine Ruin. Heals are a little OP. Creeping Curse tier 3. So there's a few things here and there. I mean, people are just naming off different stuff that does occur.
What you could do with is a starter item that had a small like healing reduction on it. So if you knew you was going up against someone that was a healer, you could buy that and just reduce their healing a little bit, like a 2% stack for like 3 stacks or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Just put it down a little bit for like 800 gold. It'd be well worth it, I feel. So
your perspective is less casual. What do you mean? Oh, than your perspective. Okay, I thought you meant like I wasn't coming from a casual perspective. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not even touching the competitive scene. Anyways, let's go ahead and move out of the patch, guys. So that goes ahead and ends our patch note discussion for this week. We're going to go ahead and jump directly into the esports update for this week. So to go over what we do each show, guys, if you guys aren't familiar, we go over the latest information on the latest patches. We go through it, review it, our thoughts on it, what we've experienced this past week with playing with it. And then we go ahead and we go into a few other segments of the show, one being esports update. So let's go ahead and look into the NA results from this past week. You will go ahead and see that we actually saw Vicious and Delicious come out on top, 2-0 over Cognitive Gaming. Unbelievable, because we didn't see Vicious and Delicious even at like PAX or Gamescom or anything like that. And Vicious and Delicious is now like making a huge appearance in the scene, where Cognitive Gaming has always been seen as either first or second best in North America, and now Vicious and Delicious is stepping in. Now, to my knowledge, Vicious and Delicious does not have a sponsor. Does that seem pretty correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So a non-sponsored team steps in and has beaten the crap out of 2-0 in Cognitive Gaming, which is pretty impressive. So Cognitive Gaming got second, and third place went to Denial Esports, and we see Reason Gaming up in the top 4 as well, which I'm not surprised to see either of our third and fourth place teams in there. So pretty decent job there. Moving over to the EU side of things this past week, let's go ahead and bring that up. You could go ahead and see that we saw Vengeance Esports against Cognitive Gaming, which is we see a lot. Vengeance Esports going first again, and Cognitive Gaming EU taking second. So once again, Cognitive Gaming getting second not only in the NA scene but also in the EU scene this past week. And we saw Vex Gaming, which I haven't seen Vex Gaming in a little while.
No, I haven't for a while as well.
I don't know if they've had quite a hiatus, but we're seeing them back in the scene now. And they actually won over Bipolar Method. So congratulations there. Just a side note, in Group N, you can see Vengeance Esports did go against Bipolar Method. So that kind of grudge match did occur. I know, right? And Vengeance Esports came out on top. So pretty cool to see.
I am noticing one thing. There's 2 teams missing that I can see. One from each roster. We're seeing Team Dignitas missing from the NA, and we're seeing SK missing from the EU.
Yeah, I wonder why they took a break this week. I don't know if anyone in chat knows specifically, but we don't see them in there. I want to point this out, guys. If you guys are interested, everything can be viewed over at esports.smitegame.com. I'll go ahead and put it into chat, but it's esports.smitegame.com. And that's where I'm getting all this information. So if you guys want to check it out, please take a look.
Apparently, Zatman was moving. That's why everybody kind of...
So SK didn't play in it, and I can see why Dignitas, because one thing I noticed from Dignitas as they did come into the scene, moving from like Root and a few other teams, is that they did say if they are not able to play like their full roster in, they're not going to go ahead and play additional people. Like they're not going to bring in subs. And I'm kind of happy to see that, where like teams don't just play to play and throw in a sub just to get by. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And apparently SK Suntouch was busy, so was the subs. So that was about
Suntouch is like streaming right now. He's not busy. What's he talking about?
Busy.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next segment with This Week in Smite.
We just got some upcoming... just the standard upcoming events in the calendar that you see. Obviously, we've got Clash of the Gods on Wednesday with SmiteTube. We saw the French Weekly. I have still got to watch this because everything sounds better in French.
You are a bad Frenchie.
I know. They had like a weird interview with like a French guy once. I seen on TV, and they went say this stuff, and it was like really perverted, but because it was said in like a French accent, it sounded really quite nice. So it's definitely weird to hear that. You've obviously still got your Code Green at the weekend.
Yep.
Where we're on Saturday. It'll be the NA one.
Yep.
And Denial Casual for the EU one as well on 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Yep.
Sunday. NA casual for denial, and as your standard, you got the official tournaments on Saturday and Sunday. And
Yep.
that's pretty much it for the week.
Yeah. So make sure. Are you gonna be around Wednesday, Risty? You're not sure yet.
Yeah, I should. I don't
Hopefully.
know. I'll have a see what I got because I got. Yeah, stuff.
Well,
So.
okay. I will be around on Wednesday to cast the Smite Tube Clash of the Gods, guys. It's a 3v3. So if you guys are interested, make sure you check it out. It is over on Smite Tube's channel. It's an excellent tournament to check out, completely free. Really great prize pool of gems. I think first place is 2,400. So make sure you check that out. You can sign up over at smitetube.com. Let's see. Let's go ahead and look into our next section here, guys, which is the weekly community Smite content. And we have some interesting conversations to go over. If you guys are just joining us for the giveaway, we'll be doing the giveaway very shortly. The first article I want to point you guys out to is a message to all Smite players from Tanks. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in chat. It got 386 upvotes. I think that's the most I've ever seen, actually, on Reddit. And this guy is actually the bystander in Lethal Weapon 3. He's also in the up-and-coming role from The Hobbit, which is pretty cool. He's a player of Smite. And he pretty much talks about how the fact that, you can see here, he says, I'm here today to talk to you about an important issue that affects everyone in the Smite community, not escaping when the tank saves you. This drives me nuts. When a tank risks his life to go ahead in-game and save your overcommitting ass, and he goes ahead and walls off or he freezes, he expects you to go ahead and run away. But instead, what we see time and time again is the AD tries to step back in to finish someone off or to get that additional damage done, and then the AD dies, and then the tank dies, and it completely falls apart. So pretty much, he says here, I'm here to tell you, when this happens, your job as a carrier mage is to continue to flee for your squishy life in the opposite direction. So pretty much, it's a little rant and rave, but it's really good, and so many people agreed with this. Risty, what's your thoughts on this article?
Well, I always say that, like, if I get like caught out and I'm at low health, I go, pretty much, I'm just like, well, guys, I'm out of here. I don't care what happens to you. As long as I don't die, it's a good thing. So I just leave. I do know the temptation sometimes if you got low health, you hover around a little bit just to check if you could throw in an ability here and there if you're arranged.
Yep.
But other than that, you're supposed to leave. But I do love the bit at the bottom. This message is brought to you by a foundation for better Smite and TADD, which is Tanks Against Dumbass Damages, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. Another article I want to point you guys out to, I will copy and paste it into chat, and this will be in the show notes if you guys are checking out the VOD, is a short rant about Smite. And pretty much what this is it's a guy that goes into the game. He's been playing it for over a year, and he's not ranting to complain about, I hate the game, blah, blah, blah. He's ranting about the matchmaking system. And this comes up time and time again, and I don't know when we're going to see anything change. I don't know why we haven't seen anything put into it yet. I truly feel that Hi-Rez needs to go ahead and invest invest time into, sorry, let me post this here. Somebody said it, post something in chat. Here's the first post. Invest time in the matchmaking system. And this guy's complaining because he is saying that he doesn't know how the algorithm works for the matchmaking system. He doesn't know if the player base is too small, but he is so sick and tired of having to join with a friend and feels that it's 2 versus 5 or 3 versus 5 because the other people he's playing with, some of them are complete. You're seeing level 30s getting queued up with like almost complete new players in the game. About, level 5 or 6, whatever. But this guy goes on to complain about, the way the matchmaking system is, how it's garbage and how it needs to be fixed. And it got, 38 upvotes, 23 downvotes. I'm going to go ahead and throw this over to Risty because I think the matchmaking system needs to have a good discussion. Do you like the current matchmaking system, Risty? And what can be changed?
No.
Okay.
I just think it sucks. Well, to be honest, I don't know what the algorithm, what they've done, or what they're doing in it is, but you'll get a game where it's kind of kind of to their defense, they can't tell you what everybody's like. But I do feel like the hidden like MMR should be like some effect to this, because at the minute you just like, but then it's like elo hell as well. Some games you get into like like 5 people that all of a sudden it's just fantastic, and then you get into games of people like, oh yeah, this is my first time, or like ranked games, this is my first ranked match, and it's like, what?
Yep.
What the hell? Why are you in my ELO if you're your first one?
Yep.
Then yeah, it's just when it comes to casual though, I expect the dumbest of the dumb people. I think that's just my mentality of it, so I've not really noticed too much. I just kind of expect stupid people. Generally, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But you have to kind of go into the situation thinking, right, if they're getting boned, I've got to go help them. So it's kind of,
I mean,
that's my mentality of it.
The guy mentions in the article, he says, if I need to wait a few extra minutes to get in queue with people that are around my same skill level or experience level, I will. And he says most people will agree. I agree completely. Yeah. And I understand it. Matchmaking system is not exactly something that's going to be fixed overnight, but we have barely seen anything. We've gone through 5 different conquest maps. We've gone through, what do we have, 41 gods now, several different game modes, and the matchmaking system is still the same. When are they going to fix it, and when are they going to test it? The game's a year into beta. When are we going to test it? I mean, beta is for testing purposes, completely understandable. So when are you going to make changes to the matchmaking system? I personally would love to see a level system that your god, you level as a player and you play around other people within your level, because with leveling in the game comes experience. So you can't level without actually playing the game. So therefore, if you leveled to level 30, or let's say 25, you would play with 30s, you would play with 25s, and you would play with 20s, or whatever. But the thing I also want to see added with that to make it even more of a critiqued matchmaking system is leagues. We've talked about leagues. We talked about leagues on the roundtable discussion show that we did. Where are leagues? Not League of Legends, but leagues. When you start out in the game, you're bronze. As you advance through, because I not only want to see leagues for the matchmaking system, but also for giving players the initiative and reason to play ranked. We have no reason to play ranked now. It's pointless. You got this giant ranked board. You're never going to touch the people that are at the top. Why not have a system where you can look at your league, go, okay, I am number 60 out of 100 in Silver League. Let's keep playing. Okay, I'm winning. I'm going up. I'm gaining, experience, blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden, I'm at the top of my Silver League. And if I keep winning, I'm going to be promoted to Gold at the top of Gold. You know what I mean? Like, the matchmaking system drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of funny what you said about the leagues, because I know when we had Duke and Gavin on, they said they like leagues on but it's something in the studios. Like half the people want leagues, but then there's other people that don't want it.
But it should come down to the community.
Like a conflict in the
Do another freaking survey, and I guarantee you the community is going to vote for leagues. I mean, we had Pon, another competitive player, saying let's do leagues. Well, if your community and your player base wants leagues, who gives a rat's ass what some of the people at Hi-Rez Studios thinks? You need to build the game geared towards
you have to ask yourself who's saying it, though. That's the problem.
But it doesn't matter. That is true. Is it Erez that's saying it, and then people are like, nope. You know what I mean? Fired me up. Anyways, moving out of matchmaking systems, that gentleman where we talked about the article, guys, had a rant about the matchmaking system and how he is not pleased with it. So I'll go ahead and post his rant. He ranted on Smite on the Reddit about it. Had a lot of good feedback. A lot of people joined in on it. Had a few discussions to say. It wasn't a witch hunt or anything like that. The final article I want you guys to check out is it's called Ezra spoils in Twitch chat word changes, teleport, consumables, and cooldowns. And if you go to that link, what's that?
He loves doing that.
Oh, he loves spoiling that stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. So you can see here, spoilers coming next week. I have been out of the office for 3 weeks. Hopefully we get, what is that? Tornadoes next week? Is that a god?
No, Thanatos.
Is that a god?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Combat Blink and only one in match. I don't know what that means.
The only funny thing is I know Thanatos from Planetside because it's a shotgun. That's about
Oh, okay.
Thanatos.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I was like, what are you talking about? He also says in here,
Oh.
the teleport makes it so players are willing to run around the map more and can still get back to defend. Otherwise, people are there. 5-player teleport back to tower is 750 gold he's talking about. We're looking at some word changes and a cooldown on teleport. So I can understand the cooldown on teleport. I think it's extremely necessary.
Yeah.
Teleport is so valuable. So we'll kind of have to see what changes do come out. Erez is kind of mentioning a few little changes here and there. So things to expect moving forward. That kind of ends our weekly community Smite content section. Let's go ahead and get into one of the last sections of the show, which is the streamer of the week.
So the streamer of the week we got is Smite Boards, which is they're trying to do like a 24-hour stream, but what Smite Boards is basically they're trying to replace the official Smite forums. So if people want forums, here's a forums for you to go to, and they've got a stream up, so they can kind of help out as well a little bit there, which is nice. And yeah, it looks like they're trying to run a 24-hour stream. There's time slots available, so if anybody wants to be a streamer, you can always apply over there, and yeah, just give it a just have a little look.
Definitely. Well, guys, that kind of concludes this portion of our show. We're going to go ahead and take 3 questions from chat. So if you guys have any 3 questions at all in chat, please go ahead and put them now. And then we're going to go ahead and dive into the giveaway, which is going to be an 800 gem code giveaway. So I'd like to give shout outs right now to Hi-Rez Studios, SmiteGame.com, for supplying the 800 gem code giveaway for tonight's show.
Man, they supplied it. That's right. You're not paying for it. That's bad.
I am no longer paying for it week in and week out. So thank you very much to Hi-Rez for supplying that to us, for supporting the show. On top of that, special shout outs to SmiteTube.com for supporting this individual stream. They support twitch.tv/OctanePro, SCII. So shout outs to SmiteTube.com. Guys, please go ahead and check them out. They have weekly tournaments over there. They have some great guides. I actually have a huge handful of guides over there. They have news articles, everything like that. So please make sure you check out SmiteTube.com as well. And then finally, check out tweakedaudio.com. Those are the earbuds that myself and Risty are currently using. It was interesting. Today on Twitter, Rim Greeper was the guy's name on Twitter. And he posted on Twitter and said, it was at me and at Tweaked Audio, and said, hey, I received my earbuds today. They were broken in the mail. And Tweaked Audio responded back to them right away and said, hey, email this address right away. Let's get this rectified for you and taken care of. So check out tweakedaudio.com, guys. They have noise-reducing earbuds. I use them for gaming. Risty uses them. They're really nice earbuds. They're super cheap in regards to price point, but the quality is really good. They're noise reducing. They have no tangle cords. They have like 7 different styles, 6 different colors. They ship anywhere in the world. And if you guys use the promo code OctanePro, you'll get free shipping anywhere in the world. And you also get 33% off your purchase. So it takes them down to like $15. So check it out. Would be really great. Check out tweakedaudio.com today. Risty, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, sir, with picking out 3 questions from chat.
There's one there from I'm not even going to try and pronounce it now. Would you advise new players to play Arena before going into Conquest, or just go straight into the good stuff? Now, I'd say just go straight into Conquest. Arena I'd use for like practicing skill shots, because you're obviously close together a lot more and stuff like that. But the Conquest is a completely different environment, and you kind of get used to the meta. So I'd say just go straight into Conquest and practice that way.
I'm trying to think. See, Arena teaches you team fights.
Yeah.
And how to initiate with a tank, or how to initiate with certain god types. Whereas Conquest is going to teach you laning, jungling, and team fights as well, along with objectives. In Arena, you don't have your objectives. You don't have your towers. You don't have your Gold Furies, your Fire Giants, your Phoenixes. So each of them has a niche, just like Assault. Assault is kind of a mix of the two. It has team fights and also has your objectives. So I would actually recommend Assault over Arena. But if you can, play Conquest. Keep in mind, Conquest is very long games, and some people don't have the time. So I would definitely recommend that you do go ahead and check out Assault if you have to, but Conquest first, just like Risty recommended.
Here's one from Chicken. I'm going to throw this one to you first because I want
Okay.
to just put you out there. What do you think is the future of the Smite update, short term, long term?
Sure. Short term, the show's going to say pretty much exactly the same. Very community based. We're going to do patch notes week in and week out every week. If there isn't a patch, we'll bring on some Hi-Rez employees. We'll bring on some competitive players, some other people in the scene, and we'll do other roundtable discussions. The first roundtable discussion was awesome. It was huge. I got comments from the COO and CEO of Hi-Rez Studios, really liking the content that we put out with the roundtable discussion. Even though we got such good feedback, you can't do that week in and week out. There are other shows that are no longer around that were Smite shows where they tried to do a roundtable discussion every week. It lost its flavor, it lost its flame, and it was too hard to get new guests every week. So that is kind of the plan short term. Long term, I haven't even thought about. Literally, like when it's out of beta, Smite is out of beta. I have no clue what we're gonna do. I hope.
Hey, did you say when or did
When?
you say if?
Okay, when. Definitely when. But yeah, when Smite's out of beta, I really don't know, but I'm pretty sure we'll be at 50 episodes before Smite is out of beta. When it's out of beta, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more backing from High